A good night of Shabbos, a good night of Shabbos. So, in consciousness, the Torah is teaching us the language of the consciousness, of the higher consciousness. The Torah is teaching us the language of higher frequency, the language of Creator, Hishprach. So until now, remember, if you talk to a child talk, he's going to talk back to you, respond child talk. But if you cut out the small talk with a child and you start talking to them like mature adults, you call them by their real names and you talk to them like as if you were talking to somebody your level, then immediately you open up that consciousness and the child is already there because it responds in real time. There's no limit to how fast and how quick consciousness can expand, how quick light can expand. We don't need time. It's an illusion that Choshech that tells me I need time, I need 10 years, 20 years, achievements. What are we talking about, achievements? It takes time. I have to go invest. You don't have to invest nothing. You tap into it. If you're still measuring it in time and how long it takes, then you're stuck. You're in low frequency. So every week, every week the Torah gives us the tag of the week. It gives us the language as to how we capture and how we internalize higher conscience. Because if it's not material, then what is it? How do I capture it? So yes, we're able to hold in touch in this consciousness, mamish, panim b'panim with Eibishter, with Atzmas Ori and so you can touch it and see it in everything, in every piece of Gashmias. But at the same time, if you don't have the Das Elyon, if you don't have the higher conscience, then you just get caught up in lower conscience. Then you get caught up in the small talk. But once you understand the language of the Torah, of the higher conscience, the Hishprach, then you step into Lego world and watch the Legos fly. Shattered. So the Legos go, once you come in, it has no room, it has no place. Because the minute you look at it from Das Elyon, it has no place anymore. It's the Nesher Mo, the eagle. So, Kisisa Esrosh B'nai Yisrael this week is in conscience. The consciousness is called Kisisa Esrosh. This mission is called Pick Up Your Head. B'nai Yisrael, Ifkudem, the Minyaneim, okay. V'nasna ish koifer nafshe l'Hashem. Jeder darf geben a koifer nafshe l'Hashem. Okay. Fine. And then we keep going. And then we go that Yedran darf geben machtza shekel, which is b'shekel l'kodesh esrim gera. So esrim gera, we already know this is 10 and 10. So we bring 10, and the Creator, the Eibishter, gives us the other 10. The same as Beka like Goylis? Is Beka like Goylis, right? Beka like Goylis? Yeah, so it's for Goylis is for the each shell. Each shell, in other words, we spoke about this, communicate with Atzmas Ori and Sof through the galgal, the bone around the marrow, around the matter. So that allows for that sponge in the head to receive the frequency, the strahlen, exactly, so it doesn't burn up right away, gives you a headache. But rather, the bone, because it has such a level of bittul, and it's so simple, it's atzmas, so it's atzomas, so you can tap into atzmas. So, as we're coming in here, so we'll land in different tubes, how we manifest, how we show up, how we're going to go through the proper awakening, the wake up, different pains, It makes me move like a boxer, moves to the side hook, all the moves. So my mission, my story, my life, whatever I'm going through is what's giving me my story. And each and every gulch we come into a different shell. So this one here in America, it's the Edom, or whatever you want to call it. It's a sluggish one. It's pulled down. It's heavy. It's das tachten. It's yucky. It's laziness, confusion. It's another level of Amalek. It's the opposite of the stringent Amalek. Now it's the other one. It's very cute and it's all about love, but really what's hidden on the other side? We have to go into Das Elyon. And this is the koyach that we have now coming out of Purim, from Purim Katan, where we're able to, once I tap in to Adonai Yoda, once I tap into Das Elyon, and I activate from that place, and I learn the higher language, I learn the language of the higher frequency, and then when I land back into world, in Das Tachten, the Legos go flying. This is how we break out of the shell, we break out of the metal chains. Yeah. So this is the koyach, and how do we do this? By Adonai, by not knowing, just tapping in. Just by tapping in into being present. By tapping into, I have a choice. I can stay in the sandbox in low frequency, or I can just raise. I have the koyach to do that. And right now, it's as simple as it is and as simply complicated. You do this by tapping into your simcha channels. It's in the stomach, it's in the teferes, like revving like two wild mufflers. Any situation that comes at you, put it into the stomach and turn on simcha. And it's going to go flying. So, Kesisa Esrosh, if you're going to pick up your head, you'll be counted. If you pick up your head, you'll be counted. There will not be a negev. You won't die. When you're going to be counted, when there's going to be like, okay, who is here to do the work? Who is ready to step in? Who has enough bittul to surrender? Pick up your head. And if you pick up your head, that's where you find Das Elyon. It's very simple. I can sit there and hold my head down and negotiate and kick my feet back and forth, or I can just raise my consciousness, raise my awareness. Enough. And we have the koyach now, because it's Chodesh Adar. And when we pick up the head, we go into Das Elyon. Right. Then we're talking here about the oil. Then we're just going over here the whole parsha here with Hashem Karach and Vachanan. It's just a beautiful process how our consciousness has communicated with Creator of the world. Because V'chol Dor V'dor is Pashtus the Moshe. His consciousness is spread out all over. Das is everywhere. This is what gives us the ability, the chip in our brain, to trip into a higher conscience, to activate something higher, to even be able to listen to this stuff. And this is the Torah's Baal Shem. Chassidus, which gives us the frequency, that higher talk, but go talk to somebody that doesn't have this channel, this type of receptor in the brain, which is called Das of Moshe. You can't understand this. At this level, for sure not. It's not possible. Not possible. I don't care. It can be a computer. That's exactly my point. You will understand it as square as a computer, and as round as it's going to get, it's still square because it's a computer. And here we're talking about something that has Das, real feelings. I have choice to really feel. How do we wake up something so powerful? something that's so dovik and so behelam, dovik with Eibishter, with Or Ein Sof. How do we bring awareness to it, of its koiches, of its freedom, what it's here for? By pinching it really hard, because we're talking here about delicate fire burning, and it's Azaz de Kedusha, fearless, Netzach Yisrael Lo Yishaker, standing up to Haman and Achashverosh, and meeting down there, meeting Keser so low from so high to so low, that we were able to turn it over by Matchat Tzaddik. Yeah, I'm not sure, fine, it works. So here we have Hashem upon V'ikra Hashem. So Rashi says over here, by Hashem, that Hashem Midas Rachmani. It's very important to always mention the Rashi, because Rashi gives us the memory in the brain. The Torah is Torah Shebechsav. It's too big, but then Rashi he burns it in. It's scarred into the head and siblapt in the memory. And this is what we want, because once you have this burnt in your head, then you become just like a slave gets tattooed with its number. But we're slaves. We're avadim of Hashem, Eved Hashem. Anoichi Hashem asher tzichem eretz Mitzrayim. The Ishli avadim. As ich ken zam fadil alehim lekim. Right, so you want to learn the Rashi to burn it into your das elyon, into the kesher shel tefillin, pineal gland, and it's etched in. From there, you're able to see. Now your lens has these Torah shel sav letters. They have full of salt and wine in it. Yana shel Torah. And imagine seeing consciousness from that place, with that lens. So Hashem Kilarachem V'chanan. So Hashem Midas Rachmanim. Achas Kodem Sheyechte V'achas Lachas Sheyechte V'yoshev. Okay. So both Hashem is that before Midas Racham is activated, before a person misses its mark, Yechta, he misses its mark. And the second one is La'achas Sheyechte V'yoshev. In other words, he's not here to tritz. This is not a tit for tat. This is way bigger. Anybody that still thinks this way is stuck in the sandbox. You're in low consciousness. You're wasting time. You're wasting energy. You're wasting energy. You know what that looks like? Wasted energy when you talk about this high level of fuel? It looks like pain. Pain, confusion, betrayal, stuckness, depression, anxiety. Talking about stuff that make no sense. So Hashem Midas Rachmanim. So even after and before, everything is designed. But if I choose to give birth to my higher consciousness this way, if I choose to give birth to my higher consciousness this way, which means the way that it's causing me pain right now, or rather, if I am experiencing pain right now, then this is the way I chose. This is what my consciousness understood. This is the only way I can manifest to the best that I can be. How? Why? Because that's the only squeeze canal that you found to squeeze through. You tried everything else, you couldn't manifest. And this is the squeeze, the final squeeze for you to finally feel yourself. Why? Because we've never been this conscious. We've never been this awake, so aware. Let's talk about this. Back in the day, there wasn't this level of awareness. The level of clarity that men had, the level of clarity that women had, the level of clarity that we had between husband and wife, the level of communication, the level of communication between our children. So there's way more awareness right now. So from this place, how did we get to this awareness, to such a level of openness and such a level of rawness? Through this way of squeezing out, this level of pain. Now feel that in your bones, feel that everywhere, taka in your bones, because that's the only place you're going to pick up atzmas, is on the atzamas. Because it's also betachas pshitis, nothing. It's Jens pshitis, a halt of ganz stark matter, but yet he has a lot of bittul. That's exactly tachas ekavana. Something with such matter that have such bittul, bingo, we nailed it. Selam alikim. Flashing through. So So that's the whole thing over here. So I'm squeezing through and feel the pain, and now that I felt the pain, there is enough of an excuse to jump off the cliff. There's enough of an excuse to have the leap of faith. What's the leap of faith? There's enough of an excuse to say I don't want to live in conflict. I just want to go where there is no pain. It's crazy. Okay, boom, zap, go back to low frequency and tell me what it feels like. Tell me, feel the agony, because guess what? You're awake now. You're feeling it. You know exactly where it's at. It's no longer my life. It's like I feel it in my chest. I feel it in my gut. I don't feel it in my gut. I feel it nowhere. I feel it in my head. Okay, you're asleep, fast asleep. You're feeling in your head. Atzamas has no feelings. So my pain is here to have me surrender to the nun, to the 50th level, which is Asay Tov. And that's where the Eibishter meets with Moshe. Okay, in the Ananim, he came down on the in the Anan, and once again, look at the conversation. V'yed Hashem ba'Anan v'satzavim Hashem, came down in the Anan with Torah mitzvahs, mitzvahs aseh. That's the most beautiful way that he could have come down. And look at once again at the conversation that we had with Atzmas Or and Sof. We were negotiating, like, hey, Reinunas Kvadecha. We finally figured out, we had the consciousness to say, okay, tell us how you operate, how do you work? So we know, because once I know the right path, I can't mess up, because I already know to choose. And especially when I'm applying the eagle, which is looking from Das Elyon, he's gliding above in the Kav Emunah center line. It's easy for me to choose. It's Choshech or Or. Choshech or Or, Choshech or Or. What am I? For sure, I'm going to the Or. Now listen, remember what happened to Moshe in the palace when he grabbed the gold. He pulled off part of his crown. So they wanted to test if he did it on purpose, so they brought the gold and hot coals. And they said, if he's going to grab the gold, then this guy knew what he was doing. If he's going to grab the coals, then he's just a kid, and he ran for the diamonds. So of course he went for the gold, so Malach came and pushed his hand into the coals, and he put it in his mouth, so he burned his mouth. So that's a medrash. Why? Why did it have to happen this way, that way? Because we had to play in the sandbox. That was part of the contract. That's the only way we're going to wake up. I had to play small. I couldn't show off. I couldn't express myself, because if I walked into a low frequency conversation, I had to take part of it. Because I had to fit in. I had to play small. I had to hide myself. Because if I showed myself, I'm going to be called out. But that was while we were in Gullus. But now we can openly go for the gold. Business Hayam, it's everywhere. There's flow of consciousness, there's flow of Shefa, there's flow of activation, new levels of understanding, new levels of processing pain, as actual energy and light transformers, and being able to transfer stuff in. And guess what? It's not that you need more time to practice. And you need more time. You just need to start believing that you can do this, that you are doing this. And it's really working. Generating through your teferes, generating energy into positivities. Try to find where it's at. Where is it at? So the minute the Eibishter tells Moshe all the he went out flat. In other words, he reacted properly. We reacted properly to the emotions. Vayimar is va'choi, and the way he understood it is, Targum says va'choi, va'oichi. I'm sorry, va'oichi. It sounds like Colossian. He was grabbed. He was shocked to the core. Like the minute higher consciousness, Atzmas Or and Sof came and said, Hashem, Hashem, it shows all its mercy and everything the way He's going to show up. He fell, grabbed him in his stomach, Teferes, and he fell. Right away. He felt the emotion. He did the right emotion. So too, we are part of that, doing the right emotion. As I'm feeling and I'm experiencing, stepping into this Adaliyada, to this new consciousness, I'm reacting exactly the way I'm supposed to be reacting. Because we are in real time. Don't second guess yourself. Whatever this means, it's Purim. It's Adaliyada. It's Chodesh Adar. It's wild. Anything goes. Melech Poiretz Geder. Simcha put together. Achashverosh, Melech, he showed up in such a intense way. Imam showed up face to face with us, wanted to wipe us out, showed up face to face. That's how much Atzmas manifested in Welt. Boom, right in your face. And that's where we received Matan Torah for the second time. Pnimius HaTorah, which I'm sure we'll still get into that. Because we're Am Kashay Erev V'Shalachta Lavanenu Chatasena Chatana. Because we have this, we have a proper built Erev. We were under Para enslavement for many, many years. So our Erev is nice and hard. We don't get phased too quick by some color. Get a little tickle by some having an idea. You know, we have a proper, we're not to be fooled, holding it with proper bina, das, bina, understanding, not just floating somewhere out there without any intention, but there's proper grounding. Because we have proper training. Our das has been tachten all the way in. Asherein tachten Yosef Amenu. Have an awesome Shabbos.